So, the guy who did the pizza thing where he lifted Obama into the air because he was so excited to see him. He's in Florida, and people now are boycotting his business because he bear-hugged President Obama. Now, first of all, let's just be clear on a couple things. If you love the president, that's cool. You shouldn't bear-hug the president of the United States. I don't care who it is. I'm surprised that the guy wasn't taken down by Secret Service.
Seriously.
Well, it could have happened, really.
It could have.
It could have.
You get that
I don't
close
know
to
if they
the
were out
president?
looking for hookers or what the deal was. I assume that the Secret Service had already vetted this guy, knew who he was going to be a big fan. And when you're in that close proximity of the president of the United States and you've already been vetted, well, then maybe you can hug him and lift him up.
But the reason that's the reason I thought at first they set it up. That he asked, or they asked him, or I don't know. They were looking for a photo op that would be different, and people would talk about, hey, why don't you pick up the president? Well, I'll snap a photo up. That's the only way, really. I would think you can you can lift the president of the United States like that.
If you've seen the video, Obama looks surprised.
Yeah,
but you also don't see
and the guy said
any
it was completely spontaneous.
You don't see any Secret Service anywhere near.
Well, they could be out of the frame of this photo, clearly. Yeah. But you're right. They're not standing like 1 inch away. Now, if something like this were to happen, you'd think that they'd be, even if they didn't necessarily intervene in the situation, they'd be right there.
Hang on just a second. This is how close my security is in a secure building. Hey, Mark.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. Is he out in the hallway? Is he out smoking cigarettes?
Wow.
Well,
yes.
He is.
That was a good test.
Ask Mark to come in. He's out in the hallway. Ask Mark to come on in, because I'd like to know. He would know. I mean,
they're never outside the room.
The good part about it, though, is that no one is physically capable of lifting you off the ground, so that he doesn't have to worry about that as a security guard.
I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about the president of the United States.
Sorry.
I mean, just as somebody who is, somebody who's protection on a principle, I can't. That's pretty amazing. Amazing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's you don't see, looking at the photo, you see a good portion of the restaurant. You don't see any Secret Service there.
And you see the president of
way
the United States
off his feet.
Yeah, getting squeezed pretty hard. I mean, I've seen some James Bond movies where big guys like that have crushed people's backs and actually snapped them in half.
This is your research?
I don't think that's good research. I don't think that's
based on true stories.
No, that's not true.
They're based on actual events.
Okay,
and
so here's the thing. So this guy he hugs the president and lifts him up, which is great. But now people are boycotting his pizza parlor.
He says people are saying a lot of bad things and boycotting my restaurant.
Oh, well, stand in line and you want to say a lot of bad things about people.
I know.
Oh, the left hates
quite
boycotts,
honestly,
though. They
stand in line if you want to boycott. I mean, people are boycotting because of what I believe.
Yeah.
Really?
How about the president of the United States trying to launch boycotts against, I don't know, you?
Yeah, three of them. 3 White House-sponsored boycotts. Mark, look at those. Look at that picture there. Go stand up at Jeffy's microphone for a second. See that picture there? Can you see it? Okay. Have you read about this? This is somebody that picked the president of the United States up off his feet.
I don't even know how that happened.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Yeah. I mean, is there any? I mean, how does that happen?
It doesn't. It shouldn't happen.
If somebody grabbed Glenn like that, wouldn't you be all over him?
He wouldn't even have a chance.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, if let's say you went into a room. Hang on just a second. If you were in a room. And you had already vetted all the people. Let's just say this is because when we do a fan thing, you know everybody who's in the room.
Right, correct.
Okay, so you know everybody's in the room, and you knew that all of them checked out, and somebody came to hug me and just lifted me up. I mean, I hug a lot of people, and people hug me.
If someone lifted you up, they'd be on the ground in about half a second.
It'd also be
because they wouldn't
strong.
be able to lift me up. Yeah.
They'd be crushed by Glenn. They would fall over.
But you think of that in the scope of the president of the United States, and you think, how did that happen? It had to be set up.
Thank you, Mark.
Didn't it?
It didn't look set up, but the video did not
look set up.
I will say.
But
I don't think it was.
It wasn't. It was just jubilation. Here's the president. I felt like I knew him. You know what? If I wouldn't start a boycott, but I don't think I'd go to this guy's pizza place anymore.
Really?
Yeah, if his judgment is this bad that he's this
Wait a
excited
minute,
about
hang
the
on a
president, I don't know what he's putting in the pizza.
How good is
I'm
his
not,
pizza?
I'm not going anymore. I'm not going anymore.
In other words,
Is your
you might
judgment
find-
so bad you're actually putting rat poison instead of cheese on the pizza? I don't know. I don't know. That's how stupid you are. I'm not trusting you anymore.
Would you really not go, though?
I would not go.
Why?
No, he wouldn't.
I wouldn't go.
He wouldn't.
Why? Because the guy is voting
Because the
for
guy's
Democrat?
butt stupid.
No.
And I don't trust
I
his
would
judgment
consider.
anymore.
I wouldn't boycott, and I would never tell
No,
my
I
friends,
wouldn't
I'm not
either.
going there ever again. I would just be like,
I'm
you
not
know, the
wasting my
guy's
money
the
doing
guy's
that.
the guy's a small businessman, and I believe this president is hurting small business like crazy. And I'd rather put my money in a small business where the people are actually they think. I'm just tired of putting my money with people who they don't have to agree with me on everything, but at least don't see the least we're going in the same direction. I want to help those people out.
Right. I mean, obviously the marketplace is something that you created, which
Right.
has that philosophy in mind. Like, you want to support. It's not about taking away money from people you disagree with.
Right.
It's about looking for people that have a lot of the same values as you and giving them the money because they do the service the best. But, I mean, as far as pizza goes, I mean, here's a guy who, if he's, saying 25% of all the money coming into the store will go to the Barack Obama campaign, I mean, that's one thing. But the guy got excited because the president of the United States walked into his pizza restaurant.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like this guy. I mean, I'm not a fan of the president.
It shows
but
how stupid he is.
He walked into the.
You got to question his judgment.
I
Why are
don't-
you that excited? I would be pissed if the
It's the
president walked into
president.
my
If
shop.
the president comes into the shop and Secret Service were that far away, you know that at least the shop was set up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they screened everyone in there.
Yeah,
and it was
so
a
it
friendly
wasn't-
audience. And
Oh, well, the
that's
Secret
okay.
Service goes around first and asks, can we come in here and do this photo shoot with your business?
Not always. Bill Clinton used to
Well-
just stop and say, "It looks like a milkshake." I mean, if I'm president of the United States, I don't care what the Secret Service says.
Yeah,
you
driving
get
by, if
between
he saw,
me
if he
and
saw a hot
milkshake.
chick, he was stopping and going in.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, same difference. He said, "She looks like a milkshake."
But we just had that example of, where were they? Were they in Virginia or someplace? And Biden's people went in and asked that donut guy.
Yeah.
And he said no.
Yeah.
He said, no, I don't want you in here.
And that might make you want to go to that restaurant even more.
That would make me want to go.
But I just think, like, in a situation like this,
And I'll bet you that donut guy got a lot of people that
Oh,
didn't.
you know he did.
Yeah, that
Oh,
they
I'm
were
sure.
like, screw you, donut guy. You don't like Joe Biden? And then they realized they were talking about Joe Biden. They're like, I'm with you. I'll take a dozen.
I mean, it'd be one thing if this guy made a speech at the Democratic National Convention about how wonderful Barack Obama was for small business. But the guy's making pizzas every day. He gets excited because the president comes in his store, he gives him a hug. He might vote Democrat, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to eat his pizza.
See, I mean, that's really the difference here is, I mean, if it's just a hug and he's like, hey, I'm, a fan of the president.
That's enough for me.
I don't really care. And we have to get back to the place to where we do business with each other and we understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
How hardcore socialist is this guy? We're getting so far away from each other. That's the problem. We're getting to the point to where you believe in somebody forcibly taking a lot of money and giving it to a government, to a program that doesn't do anything except immorally waste my labor on a program that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And it enslaves people. It destroys people. It really is a moral question.